shitting me, Lord, and I feel just the same. He speaks his mind about that asinine asshole in our house. Yeah, John Beautiful, he likes to call it out. Yes, he does. Well, there's a blue dot down in Texas, that Texas Avenue. Well, there's a blue dot family in the USA. And all over this world. Yeah, there's a blue dot family.
How y'all doing, baby? It is Thursday night. It is time for our Blue Dot family meeting. I am so glad y'all showed up. I appreciate it so much. I got to get my whacking Donnie out of the way. I've been doing a little whacking along with the music. Anyway, it jumped in quick. We had a lot of people jump into the chat. We're already up over to 70 something viewers right now. We appreciate that. So it flew by pretty fast. The first one I saw to jump in was, again, our friend on Periscope. It's showtime, baby. It's showtime jumped in. Joy Peters was right behind him. Karen Van Wyk, Jan Locks, Lisa S. Oddly Wires here, Linda Lance, Candy 2, and Bonnie Childs amongst Pepsi Max, Judy, Adina Michael, Wayne Fleck, and Carol Gillens. I'm glad all y'all are here. It's a beautiful day down here in the neighborhood. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are. I hope the sun is shining. It is down here in Texas. It was a little cool this morning when I woke up, but hey, it got a little better and warmed up, so yeah, I like it. Boys and I were outside planting a little garden today, so it was a good day all in all, but oh, Lordy. Anyway, what's going on, John? We got shit to talk about. I hope y'all had the chance to see our glorious leader come on TV last night and give us his speech on the coronavirus and the possible pandemic that faces the world. And I'm telling you what, it just stirred confidence in me. And I was so, are you shitting me? Confidence out of that bumbling fool's mouth. If you had a chance to see it, that's exactly what it looked like. He looked like an incoherent fool. Didn't know, oh, it could get bad. And then, well, it could get very bad. But, hey, nothing's certain. We don't know. He's trying to prop up the stock market, which took a tank again big time today. That's 3 days in a row. It dropped about 3,000 points. That's a lot off the stock market. He's nervous now. That gets his attention. It isn't the coronavirus. It's not the possibility of people getting sick in this country. No, baby, it's the money. Oh, shit, they're attacking the money. What are we going to do? Anyway, have no fear. He appointed Vice President Mike Pence. Oh, God. Aren't we in a world of shit? Yep, he appointed Mike Pence as the lead man on this coronavirus pandemic so everybody can rest. I'm sure Mike is going to go home, get on his knees, and pray for several months and then come up with some kind of plan. Isn't that what he did when he was governor? When there was an outbreak of HIV and he was governor, and they went to him and tried to get him to approve a needle sharing program because the virus was spreading amongst people that were on opioids. And, yep, Mike waited 4 months, I think it is. I think it was 4 months, they said, thinking about it, praying about it and deciding what should be done. In the meantime, he did nothing in the HIV outbreak quadrupled in that time frame. So, no. Mike Pence doesn't exactly stir me as the kind of guy. What I've always described Mike Pence as, he's a poser. Anytime you see him, he looks like he has practiced that look. He's got a stern look, a benevolent look. He's got all sorts of looks. I'm sure he stood in front of the mirror forever, practicing every one of them. He is what I call, what white people would call a cracker. He's about as white comes. Nope, I don't even think there's salt on that damn thing. There's just nothing about him that inspires me for anything. That's why Donnie picked him. He's just bland. He's Mike Pence. Put him over in the corner. He'll pray for you all day. That's all. He got the evangelical vote. That's what that was all about. I believe when Donnie picked him was, hey, we can get these evangelicals because they love Mike Pence. And yeah, well, we're going to see how that works out because Donnie already gutted the CDC and the National Institute of Health. Years ago, baby, he was trying to cut money for his wall, and I think that's his plan to stop the coronavirus. He's going to build the wall 5 feet higher. I think it's ignorance. This man has cut in places all over our country. We've seen him cut FEMA funds for his stupid freaking wall. His glorious monument to himself is what it is. And so yeah, when the time comes that we need it. It's not there. Now we have to scramble around and find the doctors that we fired before and see if we can talk their ass into coming back and working for us again. It's just pitiful. And then if that's not enough, before we introduce our panel, there's one more bit of news. There's a new whistleblower. That's right, baby, another whistleblower. What's this? Donnie get caught in the P-tape? No, we're still waiting on that one. No, this is from the Health and Human Services.
Hang on really quick before you go further. Turn that microphone a little bit more toward your mouth, please.
How can I do that? Is that better?
Much better. Thank you.
What if I move my head over here?
Please don't.
All right. Now I lost where I was going with all that. Oh, we have a new whistleblower from Health and Human Services. This evidently a higher-ranking person in the program filed a complaint that when the first coronavirus patients were coming back to the United States, they were airlifting them, putting them in places around the country in military bases in quarantine and stuff like that. Well, it appears that those people that were working in the plane were not provided with any protection from the virus. They weren't checked for the virus after the flights. They shuttled these people back into the United States, and then those people that were working on that aircraft with the patients, with no protection in the back with them, went on their merry way and got on another airplane and went and worked someplace else. And boy, howdy shit, if that's true, we don't know if that would affect anything. But in a pandemic situation, are you shitting me? Or is there a faster way to spread it than that? Ever since this man took over, we have looked at one fiasco after another that he has stumbled his way through, and when it really gets serious here in the world, there's not a soul in this country can have any confidence in this administration at all to do the right thing and do the thing right. That's basically it. Anyway, that's all I got going on. Aussie Dave, how are you, buddy? I ain't seen you in a while.
Oh, it hasn't been that long, but it does seem like a long time.
Well, since you've been on the air. I was in the room with you the other day.
Hey, careful what you say on air,
I know
mate,
it.
Because people get the wrong idea.
I know it. Well, we'll keep that shit low. Keep it on the down low.
Is this what you call a long distance relationship?
That's it. That's what we got, baby. I'm proud of them too. All the way down under.
It's a bit like the distance between Donald Trump and the people is the distance between America and Australia. He's that far from the people's minds.
I'm telling you.
He doesn't know what to do for the people.
He stumbled
because he
his
doesn't
ass.
want to do anything for the people. You know what makes me very angry, mate? I'll have this little 30-second rant here.
All right, go ahead, Dave.
I'm getting angry.
Go ahead.
Every day I look at the YouTube and the Twitter and I see that the bagging of Bernie Sanders by his own family. Now, this is no less than saying, hey, if we can't be the candidate, we don't want Bernie. these guys are rich. These guys that are bagging Bernie are bagging them for a reason. They want the benefit of Donald Trump's tax cuts. They want a Republican, a Democrat, sorry, in power that's going to be sympathetic to the Republican way. And if that's the case, then these people have to go be a fucking Republican and stop trying to make out you're a Democrat, because Democrats, I'm led to believe, are for the people. Now, the worst thing that comes out of Bernie Sanders is, wow, you get what the Western world has.
Yeah.
You get healthcare, education for all. You get to live a life where you can say, I'm going to work earning $20 an hour. I can afford to feed my kids. Like the rest of the Western world, that you're supposed to fight for their rights, that they can have that, yet you can't have this, and Bernie Sanders may give that to you. Well, if that's socialism, you do know what socialism was? I've been educated today. Socialism is education department, the fire department, the police department. That's all
It's
socialism.
true.
So, wow, how bad is that?
Let me
tell you, if socialism is going to burn America, so fucking be it, because America has been run by the rich, for the rich, for decades. It's not worked. It's caused wars for profit. Now it's time for a president, a people's president, that works for the people and gives the people what the country produces. The wealth it produces shared amongst the people. That's not communism. It's not socialism. It's fairness to the people.
Let me take a guess, Dave. I'm just going to guess. Are you a Bernie fan, bub? I'm just guessing.
A little bit.
A little bit? Outstanding, Dave. I appreciate it. Your voice is always welcome here. The international perspective from outside our country, looking in sometimes, is worth listening to, how the world sees us. Anyway, I want to go ahead on.
I appreciate the time.
Oh, not a problem, buddy. That's why we're here, all of us. Madaffy, how are you?
Not too bad, and I agree with Dave. You rock, Dave. You rock.
There you go, Dave. You're building an empire, buddy. I'm telling
angry.
you.
I'm angry.
Good. Use that.
It's sickening. It is sickening what some of these the Democrats are doing. I mean,
well, we're going to get into that in just a second, because I read a story.
It irritates me.
That
and then,
go ahead.
And then the other night during the oh crap. During the debate, oh my God, that was so out of freaking control. Those two women had, I don't know, they have no clue what they were doing. It was a joke. They couldn't keep anybody under control, and then the two guys come on.
The moderators. I was trying to figure the two women. Let me see. There was Elizabeth Warren and Amy.
It was.
I'm sorry. You're right. No, no. That debate, it wasn't a debate. It was a knockdown, drag out, poke you in the eye, and what are you going to do about that shit fight?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we witnessed the other night. That's my impression of it. I said the other day that, if I stand back and look at who won, who lost, and everything, Biden held his own.
We lost.
Bernie,
lost.
It's the people lost. Yes, we did. Because that's not what all this shit is about. Because we're going down into near Super Tuesday, and it's a battle between the two major powers, the centrist and the leftist in this party. It's Biden against Bernie, and there is a clash in this party against this, and a lot of people feel that this is Bernie's second time up here, and there is an article I read, and let's talk about that in a minute. Let me get SC in here. SC, how are you?
I'm good, John. How's it going?
I'm doing fine, buddy. How's everything down in Florida? Keeping everybody in line?
Oh yeah, we're trying to.
Good.
We're trying to.
Good.
It's been pretty nice weather. It was rainy all day yesterday, but today it's just been typical Florida with a little chill in the air, but we can manage.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
There you go.
But I wanted. I was told earlier in the Blue Room, Velda wanted me to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna bring it up before I forget about it.
Velda.
But
sure.
Apparently Zed posted something in the chat asking. Hold on, let me get my damn glasses on before I can read what it says.
You probably do it better than I could.
Yeah, well, I already broke one pair today, so here we go. It says, Zed said, are there any blue dots in Kentucky who will help do a rally for Amy McGrath to defeat cocaine myth?
There you
And
go.
She wanted me to bring that up if
If-
I got in the room, so there you go.
If there are people in the room from Kentucky that or close enough to Kentucky that you could drive or something, get to a rally, bring it up in the chat. Zed has been with us a long time. Long time. I've been noticing him for a while there, and we're proud to see that he is active in trying to help Amy McGrath. This is our week to do Amy McGrath in Kentucky on our 2 for Blue. You got that graphic?
My mouse is dead.
Huh?
Mouse died.
The mouse died.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Give it some CPR.
Let's have a funeral.
Yeah, no shit. Got to dig a hole.
Funeral for the
Watch
mouse.
where you dig out. I swear. It was pitiful. We've had to bury too many pets out here. Anyway, he'll be right back with the mouse. I guess we'll fix that. Had to go get battery, I guess.
Mickey Mouse.
Yep. And Velda. Velda, how are you, dear?
Well, I'm doing fine. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes. Why, you got a new setup?
No, I can't hear Dave or me Daffy. I can't hear either one of them.
You
so
can't hear
when he
Dave?
gets back,
Uh-oh.
But
Testing
what
1 2 7.
I did want to add to your thing about this new virus and Trump.
Right?
He's calling for 2.2 billion dollars and $1 billion to go into discovering a cure for that. And in the same voice, not all people will be able to afford it.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah.
I did catch that myself. Marcia and I both perked
Only
up.
the rich.
Afford it? Are you shitting me? Keep it affordable?
Keep it, because they've got to make a market on that. And I'm going, and we're
Yeah,
giving
fuck
them
your market.
$1.1 billion to get the virus.
This is where capitalism
medicine?
collides. For everybody out there hating on socialism ideas and shit, that's where it collides. Your ability to pay for health care, is the norm. That's what we've been living forever. If you don't have the money, tough shit, you can't get this shot because this shot is expensive. We had to produce this thing. It's $40, $50
The
a
rich
shot.
people travel the world.
What
The rich
cash
people
bracket
travel the world.
are they going to cut it off at that can't get it?
Travis
Is
is
it going
back.
to be the 30,000, 40, 50, 150?
Yeah, they'll come up with a
$1
number. Don't
million
worry.
people?
Yeah, they'll come up with
And
a
the
with a
rest of
level.
us sit back and say, go fuck yourself?
That's
Is that what
basically
they're
the
doing?
plan.
Protect the rich.
That's basically
Protect
the
the rich
plan.
only.
Velda is in the room, but she cannot hear Dave or
I'm going to
Madafi.
hop out.
So
I'm going
maybe.
to hop out.
Oh, there she goes, and hop back in.
Really
She's
quick,
gonna
you should
refresh.
call out that.
Yes, Ben Stroud donated $10 through Super Chat and said, "Puck Trump and the rich Democrats screwing Sanders." So saith Ben Stroud. That is a problem. I saw the story in the the magic thing here that talks to you. There is a concern that the parties that the powers that be within the Democratic Party are not happy with the momentum Bernie Sanders is gaining. I didn't delve into it deeply because I want to check into it some more, because I'm going to have a rant about that, because we can't have that bullshit. That's what worries me, is that in some manner the Democratic National Committee is going to put their finger on the scale of this. Bernie Sanders
Speaking of
has
Australia,
a
mate.
powerful movement. That's not to say that Joe Biden doesn't have a large backing in this country. We have two people, and I'm not discounting anybody else. We're looking at the basic two that are up on the top, it seems, and you throw Elizabeth Warren in there too. It's you'd have to throw somebody on the Senate more like Buttigieg on it. It's those four that seem to be the draw in this country. I voted today. I voted for MJ Haggard. MJ Haggard here in Texas is my senator, and as far as president, I'm not going to say. I did go vote today. I got my little sticker there on my shirt. And it made me, I met some ladies there at the polling station. I had a wonderful chat down there. Yes. Oh, I was wearing my blue dot, the one Thomas Morgan picture of me. And that lady, I wore it, just for that lady said, that shirt looks a little like you. I said, yes, ma'am, that's the inner me. And then the story went on, and I grabbed me 3 more blue dots.
Are you that YouTube guy?
That's what it's. They didn't recognize me but they didn't know about me, but they did when I left. And
They
yeah,
do now.
yeah, they do now. And I got 3 more subscribers on my YouTube channel. So there you go. I had a great time down there chatting with them. And I knew one of them was a Republican because that's the way the law is. You have to have a representative from the Democratic side, one from the Republican side, in the polling station there. Keep an eye on everything. And but they were all 3 were wonderful ladies. Had a great discussion, and nobody was shocked by what I was. I said, well, the language gets a little bit colorful before you go in there and looking around, so we're a salty group, so occasionally there's some foul words that pop out, and gave them the standard warning, but hey, other than that, we're a fine group. Come on in, baby. The water's fine. The water is fine.
Trump.
Yes, if you fuck Trump. Did you say fuck Trump right here on the show? See, that's what I'm talking about. Like some poor lady's going to come in here. What are they talking about? That lady said fuck Trump, and it was plain as day.
Yeah, mate,
Can you imagine that shit?
You just demonetized your show, mate. You just demonetized your
I gave
show.
up on it, baby. I gave up on trying to, we get more in donations than what they'll ever pay me for any commercials they stick on there. I ought to just do away with all of them, because a lot of times I look on there and they got some.
Well, thanks
Trump.
for the support of everybody. I think we might be able to by now.
Yeah,
I really do.
We're getting to that point close to that the donations come in, and the donations y'all make, like Lisa S., who just donated $20 through Super Chat and said, "Democrats stand united, power to the people. So saith Linda S." And that's it. That's exactly it. That's what I mean when that's what I'm talking about when the DNC cannot interfere in this shit. This is the power of the people. They preach to us all the time. Politicians of every creed, color, and everything, religion, everything. They get up there and they talk about the power of the people and their voice and how important it is. And then and then the Republican side has tried to figure out a way to keep you from voting. But that's what that's what this is. It's we have to unify this party.
Another comment from Zed about this having a rally for Amy McGrath in Kentucky.
Right.
He says the idea is to have a concert and a barbecue in South Kentucky if people can get together to do that kind of thing.
Well, there you go.
Get something like that going.
If you're somewhere near southern Kentucky, which would include northern Tennessee, try to get some discussion going on when that would be. And Zed, if you come up with something, buddy, let us know, and we'll advertise the hell out of it. So that's it's an outstanding idea, and that's what we need. We need to get loud. That's what Sally Robertson, my friend David Robertson's wife, who is a wonderful lady out in Washington, said we need to get loud, and I think she's right. We do need to get loud. We need to get loud not only in protest but in motivation. We need to make sure that people are empowered to vote in this country and that they're motivated to do so. Crank them up, like they say. Get them riled up. Let's turn it up a little bit, baby. Turn it up a little bit. Did we show that?
You're getting angry.
No, I had to get the battery, remember?
Oh, yeah. And on that note, talking about what we can... Have you got it?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Well, yeah, no, I'm putting it up right
Okay.
here. Go ahead and just start talking about it. Then I can just put it in there.
We got this thing going on. We call it 2 for Blue. And this week we're supporting Amy McGrath in Kentucky. And there's all her information. Travis, you can call it out.
Yeah, so the idea of 2 for Blue is if everybody, whether you're in a blue state or a red state, try to help somebody out, kick someone, crucial to their party out. So in this case, Amy McGrath is going against Mitch McConnell. If you feel like sending a kind donation to her, please visit her website at amymcgrath.com, or you can send a nice letter to P.O. Box 95 Lexington, Kentucky 40588. And you can follow and see what she's doing over there on Twitter at Amy McGrath KY.
And the idea is 2 for Blue. Most of us can afford $2, I would hope. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Send a note of encouragement but whatever. But if we band together as much as we can, there's a lot of us in this family, and send $2 if you can to Amy McGrath to help with her campaign to win the Senate seat in Kentucky and take it away from Mitch McConnell. Baby, we need to do that. We need to encourage other people to do that. And then every week we're going to switch to another, especially these places that are, possible swing states here that need the help. But we're going to go through, McSally down in Arizona needs to go. Corey Gardner out in Colorado, baby. Those are Maine, Susan Collins. These are states that are on the brink. And, like up in Maine, I think Sarah Gideon is running against Susan Collins, so we'll highlight her. We're going to try to give them as much support from across the United States and try to centralize it week by week into a candidate to try to if nothing else, send a lot of motivation if we can. That it's not only the people in Kentucky that support her, but it is the people across the United States, because the important thing is we not only need the White House, baby.
The Senate, goddammit.
We need the Senate. We need the Senate. If we don't get it.
And on that note, we have it.
Are you talking about Susan? He made a mistake, Colin.
That's the one. He'll learn his lesson. Yes, he'll learn a lesson. Yeah, he learned a lesson all right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the lady, and I don't have her name, the whistleblower that just came out with this report on shining a light on what happened with the transport of these patients, has already been demoted. She has another week, I think. Yes, she's already been told that she will either accept the reassignment or she is terminated. And it gave her a 2-week notice, and we're in the middle of it. So she's got another week left, and it's in the news. But it was that immediate. You come against Trump, and the retaliation will be swift now. That's what the lesson he learned. And even down to this lady at the level being concerned about the people that were on that flight and them being able to go out and spread that virus someplace else. That was her concern, a concern for the community, the society itself.
He has free health care.
Yeah.
He gets it, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. When he came back from India, they should have put his ass in quarantine somewhere for at least 14 days and shut his mouth out and take his phone away from him, too.
I wouldn't wish him on India for 14 days.
No. Well, he has his people that would just worship his ass for 14 days, so,
Hang on, where's that feedback coming from? It's I think it's Aussie Dave.
Aussie, are we getting a little feedback, bub? Nope.
It's outside.
Yeah, Dave's outside, I think. We might be picking
Sorry,
up
guys, I've just had there. You there, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
No, we left your ass here.
Sorry, no, my son just drove in the driveway, and he got stuck.
Oh, hell.
And because the driveway here goes downhill in towards the river.
Oh, no.
He come down in a ute that's lowered, typical, and then he come in a little bit too quick. And he's done what Trump does. He's bottomed out.
Bottomed out. Bottomed out. That's it. You hit rock bottom. I guess he's all right, huh?
Run out. Yeah. I'm on the phone doing Discord on the phone, and I haven't done it on the phone that often. And I've had problems, and Velda can probably tell you, even logging out. I had problems finding the mute button, and I was pressing everything, man. I couldn't find a freaking mute button anywhere. Oh, mate, sorry about that.
No, don't think anything of it. We just started hearing noises. I was actually slightly concerned because I could tell those aren't normally noises we'd hear from you. So.
Yeah, I'm right there with Dave. I'm right there with Dave. I
wasn't
can't find the
fully-
mute button.
Ozzy,
Yeah, love.
we needed the comic relief.
Yeah.
We needed
We always need that. You know what else we need? We want to welcome Eva Adams from Berlin, Germany. Eva, thank you for joining us.
Hi there.
How are you doing, dear?
Well, Um, I have not been happy of late.
Oh,
No, I think I'm really upset with this divide in the party. Um,
it is scary.
it's
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 worrisome.
Worldwide.
yeah,
It's worldwide.
and it's and I don't know quite what to do about it. You know, I'm expressing my opinion on my page, but
Right.
I get I get frightened because some of my best friends disagree with me, and I love them. And you know, whenever you move into that territory where you're fighting with your best friends, you're just kind of like,
I know it. I know it. Yeah, it's not a good place to
We
be.
don't need a we don't need a shooting. We don't
Yeah.
need a circular firing squad.
No.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a family
that
fight.
that debate last night was plumb embarrassing. You know.
It was a Jerry
Last
Springer
night.
show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was hard. It was really
They
hard
were
to take.
dysfunctional, weren't they?
yes, nobody came. You know.
CBS let it happen, though. I mean,
Yes,
come
they were
on.
piss poor moderators.
Did
Let's
you
face that
know
up. They couldn't.
Yes.
You know.
what also makes me angry, John, is the fact that the tickets in that place start at 1,700. Now, why the
Yep.
hell is a democratic debate where the democratic working man can't afford $1,700 for a ticket? That audience was stacked.
I did
So
not
it
know
was
that. I'm going to
That's
admit,
the
I did not know
nosebleed
that.
section.
I did not
That
know
was
that you
the
had to buy that.
nosebleed
17
section.
$1,700 a
1,700 for
ticket.
that and 2,800 for front seat.
So who do
Where?
you reckon was booing? Who was booing Bernie Sanders? You reckon Democrats? No, mate. There was no Democrats in that audience.
That
If there
bothers me
was,
a
they were
bit.
rich Dems.
That bothers me a bit. That really does.
Well, it's
Yep.
a fact,
That you
Jack.
got to pay for those seats. I was unaware of that. I'm not smart.
You're talking about
Most
And I-
informed person in the world, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, we don't really quite
I
think
think
of it.
it's
We look
new.
at it as a I always thought there were plants in the audience, like the whoever's hosting the
Yeah,
debate
that's
kind
what I
of
always
plants
figured.
them
That
in
so
the
many
audience
people
and
got,
all
you know,
that.
you get so many seats, and you give them out the tickets to the people that you want.
But I
and
mean,
all that
let's
kind of
face
stuff.
it, the way that mainstream anything deals with these debates, they make it seem like a boxing match you pay for pay-per-view and make it super
Well,
intense
go
and make
back
the
to it.
questions such cutthroaty, and they feed off the
It's
drama.
almost like they planned it like that.
Yeah,
huh?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
And
figure.
that's why I don't, like honestly, that's why I go and do my own research. I don't like to see the fights, because really that's all it's going to be is just they're going to ask the specific questions to spark emotion and get people upset, and it makes for good ratings, and I don't like contributing to that, honestly. So
I'll shock you. I'll shock you. The Dems done this in 2016. The same thing happened to Trump. It was stacked by the Dems because remember when Trump turned around and said, "See all these people booing me here? They're the supporters of the blah blah blah." That's what happened to Trump basically. Not as many. And I think the whole audience last night was $1,700 plus, but Trump had a mixture of Dems and Republicans. There was there was a setup for Trump as well. So it's John. If you didn't know about it, it is concerning.
Yes,
And,
it is. It is.
seems to me that you
It's
can.
not something
you
I
have
stopped to
buy
think
your
about. Who's
way-
sitting there? I thought they were selected by.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, it's not you and me, mate. It's not the public. I don't think. Not the genuine public.
Well, it's like everything else in politics. Unless you do have a substantial donation, you give a small donation. Sure, you get a selfie with them or something. I don't know. Or you don't even have to do that. Go stand in line. I did it with Beto O'Rourke. You don't pay nothing to get a selfie.
senator's job.
That's right. But yeah.
I'm looking this up, and I've got an article that I just posted, and it's saying that this looks like disinformation in terms of that article about them charging that kind of money.
I hope
The
so.
South Carolina Democratic Party says it did not sell tickets to the Democratic debate and allocated the 400 tickets it received to hundreds of activists, county party leaders, community leaders, state representatives, state senators, candidates, and elected officials from every level of government.
Well, there
in
you
South
go.
Carolina at no cost.
Outstanding.
That's
Eva,
400
thank you
tickets.
very much. All right, Dave.
That's 400.
Yeah. There was a lot of. Yeah, don't think there's not money involved in it every time you see something like this, some way or another.
Well,
But
I mean, the candidates also were allotted tickets.
Yeah.
that's what I figured. That each candidate had so many tickets, and they hand them
But
out
they didn't
to.
have that many.
Yeah.
And
No.
No, it was a smaller crowd in a smaller.
And
building.
I mean, let's be fair here. The way they probably make their money is through Mike Bloomberg's ads that were playing throughout every
shit.
commercial break.
Yeah.
So
It's pitiful,
know.
man. You can't turn on TV without
So
seeing
maybe the
one.
event itself, and I'm glad to hear that, because that's what I always thought. They kind of planted certain individuals in the crowd, but
Let me see, get this.
yeah, let's get this John I
What I'm
Fly
quoting
donation
is
in
coming
really
from the
quick.
Hill.
Johnny Fly, also known as John I Fly. Johnny Fly donated $10 through Super Chat and said, "Will Trump, the fearless leader that we have, be able to lead us through the corona pandemic? After all, he's the best. He's better than the generals, so he should be the Surgeon General, right? Fuck Trump. P-H-U-C-K. Fuck Trump. So saith John I Fly. Johnny Fly. Anyway, Johnny is a proud supporter of this family, baby. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all of y'all that donate to the family. That's how we're going to get rid of the ads on and we're at that point. That the donations that we get are at a point now to where we might be able to cut the ad revenue off and still maintain paying the
Yeah,
No,
paying
keep
all
it
the
up.
bills.
the internet
You
bill
need
and
to
the,
maintain that. You need to
Yeah.
maintain that because you can improve your equipment. So keep up the ad thing as well, John.
Yeah, we'll see.
We all understand the ads. We all accept the ads, and we all know what the ads
Yeah,
do for you.
I
So
never
it's
put
not
a
an issue,
non-skippable ad out there. I don't think I do.
No.
Do I?
No, I
think
don't.
that's not
If you keep
No.
up the settings that you do,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's also like a part of us that hates it. Not, when you think about it, it's more along the lines of the idea that Trump could be running ads on our videos.
And they do.
And they do, and it's disgusting. And I
Pisses
hate that
me off.
idea.
My
you know?
brother calls me from Tennessee. I saw your 3 videos from Trump. He had to call me. He kept repeating it. He was half tanked, I think.
We need to get you a digital desk so we get rid of all this background noise.
A digital desk.
So a digital desk. So he's running an analog at the moment, and that's where you get a lot of static issues and other issues that we won't go into. But you see your mate Devin Nunes is in trouble because for the Ways and Means Committee, I think it is, or whatever it is, because he's got so many lawsuits against people, even a cow.
Yes,
they're
Devin
saying-
Nunes' cow. That's right.
Where's the money coming from, Devin? Because you only earn 178 grand a year, but you've got 18 lawsuits out.
People like Devin Nunes are going to have a problem. That's why come they're fighting so hard for.
I'm going to only be back really quick. Rose has got groceries in the back that need to be taken out, so I'm going to help her not do 50 trips.
All right.
So I'm coming right back.
I have a chocky.
Yeah, but
Bring
the
it
mouse
back-
is right
bring it
there.
back some chockies.
Only touch it if something goes wrong.
It's needed.
Okay?
An emergency brake glass. I got
Emergency
you.
grace. Okay, I'll be
All right.
right back.
We'll be fine. As long
Right,
as
Devin
S-
Nunes.
Yeah.
He's got to go to jail. He has to go to jail, along with Mitch McConnell
Mitch
and the other
McConnell
bastards.
too. Devin Nunes, when we start looking into his activities during this whole Ukrainian, ever since the midterms in 2018. In 2018, between the time the old Congress left, the new Congress got sworn in, that's when Devin Nunes made his little trip to try to get this Ukraine story started. That's way back there, baby. That's part of conspiracy, is what I see, and he needs to be held account not only for that, for all the shit he's done from the time Robert Mueller was appointed. He was running back and forth to the White House, giving all the intel to Donnie straight from the committee he was on. He's a little rat, is what he is, and
He's horrible.
yes, he's a horrible
the other
person.
one,
Sat
that
up
Jim
there admitting-
Jordan.
And then he sits up there alongside everybody else during that whole House thing, knowing that the whole thing was a fucking lie.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Spy
Yeah.
as well.
that's what
He was
He was
reporting
so
to Trump.
conceited. He was sitting up there so conceited and smug-faced,
Yes,
the little motherfucker.
Oh, don't forget Jim Jordan.
Oh,
too.
no,
Him in a no jacket.
there's a list of them. There's a list of 'em. Jim Jordan being on the high point. He's the one that basically took Trey Gowdy's place. Remember Trey Gowdy?
Yeah.
He had
Uh,
Yep.
When is this guy's
Jim-
shit going to catch up with him? I mean,
Jim Jordan was on CPAP today,
Yes.
and of course, he had no jacket
No,
on.
no, no, no.
And they were questioning him about stuff. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but you see him sitting there, no jacket, arm around somebody sitting next to him, and it's like, oh God, you perv.
I'm telling you.
It's just,
He's a little man, isn't he?
Jordan, I
All
don't know.
little
Yeah.
men.
Yeah, he's not too big.
I never
He's
seen
yeah,
not too-
wrestlers usually ain't that. They're,
Yeah,
they're
I
not
don't
too
think
big.
he's.
Yeah.
Like 5'4", 5'5", I'm led to believe he's one of the shortest ones there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Nancy
I think
Pelosi could step on
Sessions
him.
was the shortest one in the Senate. Sessions was a
Okay.
little short dude.
The funny one is Donald Trump. He says he's 6'2", and he's apparently, according to his medical files, he's 5'11" and a half.
He's
And he
wearing
tells you when he's
wedges on his
6'2".
shoes.
Well, Sessions was the Keebler elf, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah, that's
Sessions.
right.
He's about right sized to fit in a tree.
And he's running again. He wants his old job back. He wants his
Oh,
seat in the
no.
Senate. Yes, Jeff Sessions wants his seat back. Now, how do you do that?
Oh,
You
Lord.
know,
Well, he didn't do the wrong thing. He did recluse himself because he knew that it was all dirty.
Well, he had to. Well, that's probably the only honorable one amongst them, and the only thing honorable he did. Jeff Sessions was.
When he recused himself.
Yes, yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
when
why
he recused
Donnie was all pissed off. Well, hell, William Barr ought to recuse himself from all this shit.
Oh,
It's obvious.
he's got to be
From the
disbarred
whole
and
office.
jailed.
Yeah. Yeah, but the retaliation against this whistleblower today, and think of the as high as, and she's not a minor worker in the system in Health and Human Services, so she is a supervisory or management position, was terminated very quickly when it came out that she had filed a complaint, and that should warn every one of us just how
Yeah.
low down to the. Look at what he's done to the jurors on Roger Stone case. He's tweeting about
that's
them,
crazy.
the jury foreman. These are
And the
individual
judge.
citizens that he is willing to single out and punish any way he sees fit. Tell me that's not a
And that-
dictator.
Not only
Well,
that,
all the
his
tweets- all the
followers
tweets
will
and
do
stuff.
anything for him. So,
All the
that could,
tweets and
now
stuff
they're going
that's
to
gone on.
have, now they're going to have people, security for those people.
Yeah.
In fact, I did
Yes.
read this morning that the jurors, when they went into the judge, talked to him after the reading,
Right.
and the only people in the court was the judge, the jury, and one lawyer from each side
Mm-mm.
because of the nonsense Trump,
Yeah, Karen
and all of
Cormier.
us
remarked.
This is madness. This is like so many laws have been broken out in the open in front of the judges, in front of the TV cameras. They're about court cases and tweeting and
Yeah.
disclosing evidence and
Yeah, Corin
tagging witnesses
Cormier
and threatening witnesses.
up in Maine just
They
points
fucking-
out, reminds us that he just the other day he was saying that Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg should recuse themselves from anything to do with
Yeah.
Trump. Take out two members of the Supreme Court, take them out and recuse
Yeah,
themselves.
because
They
they
is
don't
there?
like Trump. So
Yeah,
they're gonna-
because they don't like Trump.
What about all the judges he appointed? What about all those
Oh,
bastard
buddy,
judges?
that's-
So whenever that comes up, they should be recluse as well because they're friends of Trump, so they should
That
be
is
involved.
basically what I believe Sotomayor and RBG were trying to tell us the other day, is that when she was speaking about that she felt that the courts, not just the Supreme Court, but the courts were doing too many favors for the White House, allowing motions to go forward, allowing changes in rules and regulations to move forward while they're being challenged. When Donnie tries to change something in a situation, I guess.
Steamroller.
Yeah, steamroll something. There's a defense that comes up against that, and so they go to the court and try to stop it because they think it's unjust. And the courts have been stacked, and that is what Mitch McConnell has been doing ever since Obama came in, was holding back judges until he got his way.
Yep.
not just the Supreme Court, but every freaking judgeship down in the federal courts. He was trying to hold back as many as he could until Donnie got in there, until the Republican got in there. And that's how come we have, 400 bills sitting on the Senate floor, not going anywhere, is because the only thing Mitch McConnell wants to do is certify judges, stack the courts. Because if you control the courts, you control the law. You control the law, you control the people. It's a simple little
Which
thing.
Obama hadn't have played nicey nice because he could have gone ahead
Yeah,
and if
exactly.
he couldn't get them, he could have gone ahead and appointed those judges while he was in office.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he was
He
trying to
could have-
play nice and trying to work within the system.
yeah.
But
Well,
he could have gone ahead and just
that's how
appointed them.
come I'm
This
in
is
this.
why Bernie Sanders will fuck him, because he's the only guy that's going to investigate the stacked court guys, and he's going to look at every judge or have someone appointed who's qualified, look at every judge appointee to make sure they didn't lie, which most of them probably did, and two, they are qualified. Some haven't even sat in a trial. So they won't be there, I'm sure, if Bernie Sanders does what I think he'll do.
And I think Elizabeth
You'll get them
Warren
out.
along the same way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get them out, guys.
Yeah,
You
we're
can't-
going
don't-
to
don't-
find out a
don't
whole
fall
lot
back
the
on it.
next few days come Super Tuesday. I'm because the discussion came up of what happens if we don't have a declared majority winner by the time we go to conference, and we go into a contested conference. What's going to happen? And it's not going to be pretty, is what I think.
No,
And
it's not.
it's what scares me, because when it's not pretty, when it's not brought about in the right way, there's animosities, and when people have animosities, that gives them a reason, an excuse not to go vote or not to do this or whatever, and then we lose, and we can't afford to do that. We got one shot at this shit, and we're not going to get another chance. Old Bat with 2 cats just donated $10 through Super Chat and said, "Don't mess with RBG or Sotomayor or Kaplan. So saith old Bat with 2 cats." How you doing tonight, darling?
I got back in time to ring the bell.
Yes, there you go. Just got back in time to ring the bell. And there you go.
Yeah.
There you
Sorry about that. Jeez.
John, I'd like to make a shout out to Idiot Patrol if she's listening tonight.
go. Is she?
I don't know if she is or not,
Oh,
but I want to make a shout out to her. I got the Ruthie baby doll.
did you? Mine's right over my shoulder,
Yeah.
baby. I sent her a message. I've not heard from her. I sent her a message on her telephone, because we have not heard from her. We haven't seen her in. We're concerned about her. So, yeah. Idiot Patrol, Deborah, if you're listening, baby, get well soon. The family misses your colorful addition to this family, baby.
We
And
do.
besides that,
Can I say something?
I'm waiting to hear those
Oh,
famous words. "I'm back, bitches." Something along that line.
A family member is sick. It's a really sad situation.
Yes.
It is sad
Oh, yeah.
because we all care about each other. We really do. Even in the blue room, we talk about
This-
it. We talk about who's sick.
Yeah. I tell people,
Hey,
Yeah.
John, do you listen to Thomas Hartman at all?
Yes, occasionally. Yes.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I was
he's on.
listening this morning, and he was talking about the coronavirus and
Uh-huh.
insurance and all that. He had a caller call in this morning, and this lady's like, "Has anyone thought of the children and families that immigration have in there? Can you imagine if the coronavirus went in there? Because a lot of them are sick there anyway. I mean, they're not, they can't bathe, they don't have toothbrushes, they're just,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
nightmare
don't get
stories that we've
sick.
heard.
Where's that?
If you had something like the coronavirus or any other contagious disease in those facilities, you bet your ass you're going to
Yep.
spread it like crazy.
And they're going to be dying.
Rose,
Wait a minute,
I
Johnny,
think,
all
didn't you
Americans
tell me
back
Rose
in
just
the day
stopped
checking
at the
them.
store to see if she could get face mask?
Yeah, we were gonna try to get some just in case because I mean, like
Yeah,
at the
we're
very
pretty far
least.
out in the country, but I think she was going to go try to get some, and nope, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So
Can I
Go
bring
to
up
the
something
hardware
disgusting?
store.
Can I bring up
Yeah,
something
hardware
disgusting?
sure, Dave, go ahead.
I was disgusted to hear that you had a Senate vote recently. I think it was a Senate vote, whereas were voting down the rule or the law of whatever it was about lynching.
Yes,
And now
anti-lynching law. Yes.
And that
Four that wanted to vote it
This is
down. How
I
the
think
fuck can 4 people say lynching's okay?
who is he from? Gormore, Louis, what's
Louis
his name?
Gormore down here in Texas.
Yeah, he was one of them.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
he is.
Texas.
He was
Yes,
one of them.
yes, we got
was
some
one of
really
them.
jackasses down here. Ted Cruz and Cornhole being the top of the
I'm
list,
sure you have. Look for
and
the
Gomer coming in a
nearest tree to
close
hang 'em
third.
up. Who was the others, guys? I mean,
I don't know. I don't have the story in front of me.
I
There's
just
4,
the only
wasn't
one
it?
I seen called out was.
Ain't that ignorant? Ain't that ignorant? Yes, there's always going to be
vote for
opposition
Bernadette.
because of some technicality, I'm sure, shrouded in his
Well,
racist
that
bullshit.
in-
Anyway, I want to
that
welcome
in
Ben
the-
Stroud into the room, and Keith. Keith, are you there, buddy? No, he's got his muted and stuff. Ben, how are you?
Travis,
that and they
Travis,
add
I'm leaving.
different things.
And you're very welcome for that donation.
Well, we appreciate the hell out of it, buddy. Every dime we get.
I want to keep you. I want to keep you sponsor free, man.
We appreciate. Yeah, I'm waiting on my. I keep saying I'm waiting on my Bloomberg offer. Where's my Bloomberg money? Yeah, he says he's going to dump money into micro influencers. Yeah, go ahead and make me an offer, buddy. I want. Go ahead.
Really?
That'd give me a material for a month.
But John, I tell you, it really pisses me off that people are trying to screw over Bernie.
It's I don't want to sit here because we have a mixed family right within this group. I mean, within this family that we have, some are for Biden, some are more centrist Democrats, some are
But
more
it's
liberal
not,
Democrats.
It's not fair.
No, it's not
it's
fair
not
on
fair to
either side. If you're for
anybody.
Biden or for Bernie, nobody should want to see that the DNC. You know, the one thing that pisses me off, I don't like superdelegates. I just don't like superdelegates. That's just like putting your freaking finger on the scale. You know. Yes, we have loyalists in the
Where'd it
party
come from?
that I don't know, some tradition or some shit they made up that some loyalists in the party are given more power in their vote.
More status.
Yeah, more status with their vote or something. It counts for more, and it's a way in my book to be able to control the vote. And I think it's bullshit. I really do. And some of the super delegates are people that we've seen. Trying to think. Donna Brazil was once a super delegate. People that have been in the party leadership, have been longstanding with the party, and whatnot are given super delegate status. And I think it's just bullshit. It's supposed to keep the hand on the till to keep the party going in the right direction. But at some point here, whether it be Biden or Bernie, and let's make that clear, whatever argument you're making, whoever the freak it is, that if we don't get unified on this, we can have a disagreement on policy, but we cannot have a disagreement on direction. We have to be marching in the same direction. They are solid on that side. They don't have another choice over there. It's Donnie or nobody, and they're all motivated on that side to run to the polls to stop the evil socialist Democrats from burning their children in, raping their daddies or whatever the fuck they think we do.
I want to add to this really quick just to make something very clear here.
What?
The reason, in so little words, as far as why me and Dad don't personally talk about, on the show anyway, who we want personally, is because we don't want to use our platform as a means of promoting a certain individual in our team, in our race.
Yeah.
We're trying to promote the party as a whole, and voting blue,
True.
no matter who, because that's going to be our option. We are very vocal on things like Bloomberg because that shit's fucked up. But it's one of those
If
things
you're for
where
Bloomberg, that's fine. And if Bloomberg is the
Facts are
nominee,
facts.
I will trot my ass right down there and pull the lever for Bloomberg. If he is our party nominee, he would not be my first choice. I'll say that
he's
much.
definitely not mine. I'll go that far.
But you, like I said, you can't turn on the freaking TV today without.
Can't go to YouTube without Bloomberg.
It's
Everybody
everywhere.
right-
It's everywhere.
it's everywhere.
So after these women allegations, I mean now is one of the main commercials he's got is all these women up there talking about how great of a man he is and how been a pleasure to work
Yeah, he
for him.
brought out that
Tyler,
commercial.
it's funny because Tyler looked at me earlier this morning and goes, that dude must have a team of editors. Anything they got on him, he makes a commercial within 24 hours to fix it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, within 24 hours, you're going to see a commercial directly addressing whatever it is that somebody just said about him.
Yeah.
You got $68 billion. Shit, there's nothing you can't do.
George Conway said
People jump.
George Conway said he should just go ahead and buy.
Well,
Just fucking buy Fox.
I'll say this: I'm not saying that I'm pro Sanders, but I just don't want the same thing that happened to Sanders in 2016 to happen this year.
No,
Yeah,
no.
we wouldn't want that on any of our candidates, because we have...
No, none of our candidates need to get screwed over.
Exactly,
at all.
yeah.
Right.
We need to have trust in our people in the DNC, and if they prove to us again that we can't trust them, we're going to have a real problem going from here on out. So,
Well, if you check the polls, Sanders is
I'm with you, Blue Dots.
in most
Hey,
polls,
Keith.
probably a 10-point lead.
How you doing, Keith?
Again, Aussie?
Let me see if I can get Keith Thompson in here. Keith,
Sorry, mate.
that's all right. You with us, bub? And on the note that I bring up Keith because I know where Keith lives, let me apologize for my slip up yesterday when I was talking about the shooting that was unfolding. I said Minneapolis instead of Milwaukee. The shooting was in Milwaukee, and
Next state over.
yeah, next state over. But both the names start with an M, so cut me a little slack there. It was just a misstep of my tongue, I guess, because we were watching the news and I knew where it was. And then I don't know. I think was thinking about Keith or something. I said Minnesota Minneapolis
Does this
instead.
guy
Of,
have a mental history?
No problem, bro. We understood what you were saying.
yeah, I
We heard
appreciate that, Keith. I do owe my apologies.
The guy got fired and he went back, Dave.
Yeah, I know he got fired, but was he?
Yeah,
did
they're
he
not
have, like,
saying-
he had a gun. Was it too easy
Oh,
for
yeah.
him to have a gun?
Yeah, what's
Was it too
unusual
easy
about
for him
that,
to have a
Dave?
gun? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I understand that, John. What I'm saying is, I wonder if you guys know now, 2 days later, whether this guy had a history of mental problems.
Well, I understand that he was a
let it go.
51-year-old. He had worked for the company for a while. I understand that he had a long-running disagreement with a fellow coworker. They're still investigating. That's all I've been able to read is that he had a long time.
What a country.
What a country, baby. It's and not only in America too. Do you see it? Gun deaths on the level that we
I
do.
don't mean that disrespectful.
No, we
sorry,
understand,
guys.
Dave, because you're living in a country that did actually something happen. That your government actually took an action to do something when a tragedy happened in your country. Did you not?
The people wanted it to happen.
That's right. The
Yes,
people
we did,
wanted
mate.
it to happen. Now, I've often said, it's the Second Amendment. I own guns. I'm not an anti-gun nut. Here is what I am. I have a big problem with. It is the love affair that this country has with the gun. It is that emotion that is so devastating to this country. It's the feel that you need to have that gun. And you not only need that gun, you need an AR-15 with a big old magazine. I don't know who the hell you're planning on shooting. It's your fellow Americans outside your door.
Yeah.
This is not the country. We don't live like that. Except there is a certain percentage of people in this country who want that AR-15, and they want all the rounds of ammunition they can stock up and get ready for the big fucking whatever it is that they think is coming. And that is the detriment of this country. As long as we have that going on, then it's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy. We're going to make it happen because at a certain point, the whole freaking country is saturated with the shit, and that's all anybody thinks about. It's
But
sad.
when the timing's right, Trump will come and get your gun. When the time's right, he'll come and get your gun because that's when he won't want you to rebel.
Yeah.
When he takes over.
It's
And we just had a mass shooting last week here in Germany.
Is that right?
I heard.
Yeah.
Yes, you did too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
right. Yes,
right-wing
yeah, I
group.
did.
There
Yes,
was
I did.
there were 9 people killed. They were basically primarily Turkish, but they were at these Turkish bars and well, actually there was a couple. I think we're on the street, But then the guy shot himself and his mother afterwards.
That is so sad.
And he had been hanging out. He spoke English on these right wing websites with all these, gun crazies. And I mean, and he was also crazy. Everybody here in Germany is like, how in the world can you have somebody that could get a gun license, because it's not like the United States.
Yes,
And
sir.
crazy.
Checking you guys out. I hear you.
And have all this online presence and not have anybody connect the dots. People were really.
Yeah, because
Can I say something crazy here, as a crazy non-gun owner? As mad as America looks to me as an Australian, and as mad as the whole country is, a big pitch looks like a balloon waiting to go pop, I would still love to go live there in a heartbeat. There you go. Isn't that crazy?
Ain't it crazy? I want to go over and live where you're at. If it wasn't for them freaking spiders, if you get rid of them damn spiders, I'd really like
right,
to.
Dave. That's amazing how many people still want to come live here. I mean,
they do.
Jesus.
Well, why people want to live
Well,
in
because we
America.
don't want to lose sight of the fact that we are a great nation with the
vibrant.
freedoms of an envy to the rest of the world. Not that freedom. We're not the only ones with freedom. Hell, there's freedom all over the shit. Ireland's free. Great Britain, Australia's free.
I was about to say, isn't
it's not that, but it's America has a lot to offer. If you have a dream that you think you could do something, you could come here and make it happen if you work hard. Don't think anything about it when you fall on your ass like half of them. But
look at the guy with the pet rock.
Yeah. Oh,
how much
darling.
money the pet rock guy made?
I actually learned about that story in a management class I went to. That whole pet rock thing came about from an advertisement guy who was trying to get this account for this big account that he was trying to get anyway for his company and whatnot. And the guy wasn't taking him seriously. He was being disrespectful to him. And he said, well, if you're so good, go sell rocks. Well, boy, howdy shit. Stuck a couple eyeballs on there, put it in a box, and sure enough shit, you're out there selling rocks left and right, baby. I'm telling you. The guy made a mint, and it was, all on a very rude comment.
See, they're the rich. They're the rich tourists you admire, and they're the guys you respect, not the Bloomberg.
No.
Those sorts of guys.
No, it's like I don't want to begrudge anybody to make money. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to have enough money to be able to do what we all see on TV. I'm not going to Jamaica. I'm not going on a cruise anywhere. I've never been on a cruise anywhere. I'm going now. I'm lucky if I get to drive somewhere and go someplace pretty. So that's out. I'm not going on a European river cruise or, there's just so many things that you see on TV that aren't, they're not aimed at my ass. And that's fine. But we can't live in a society where we have people that either have no home or people, a lot of people, holding on to your house every month by month. And that's what I do. I hang on to this house month by month. And that's the first thing that comes out. When I make that house payment, baby, I actually feel relieved. I'm halfway done paying for this sucker. And, if I live another 14 years, it's mine.
That's another thing you don't have to worry about. That's one more thing. It's like, okay, now it'll be the electric.
Oh, yeah, you have a list,
every
baby.
Month,
oh, no, you got a list. You got your house payment, you got your electric bill, you got, you got to pay for your insurances and shit, or you go to jail. Which bugs the shit out of me because
it's like one thing, my granddad told me early on when I got my first vehicle. He helped me get my first vehicle. He says, now, when everything's paid off, you still ain't going to own this son of a bitch. No. It's going to own you.
It's forever.
You have to put gas in it. You have to change the oil.
Not only that.
And I'm like,
you got to
right
eat. And that's usually the last thing. Because you got your internet bill, your electric bill, all those other your phone bill, all of that, everybody has every day. And then really, if you live like everybody else, like we do, your groceries are really the last thing that's going to come out. So by the time you're getting close to that next payday, you're already out and stretching everything
Trust
you
me,
have.
I've been there.
That's
at
the way
gas
a
pump
lot
going
of people
down.
live in this country.
How much
It's
gas
paycheck
am I
to
putting in
paycheck,
here?
baby.
Am I going to eat this week?
Yeah.
You're lucky if you have $20 to last you.
Oh,
until the next payday.
you can't
You
believe
start counting
how
pennies.
much
And
I can make $10 go at the store at HEB. I can stretch that sucker. I've got practice
I
at it.
used to do pretty good about stretching money, but that was.
Hey, many times on this show, somebody has made a PayPal donation that showed up on my thing, and I've said it right out loud. That's going to the grocery store tomorrow. It's just that's the way it is sometimes, and it's that way for so many in America. What we need to do is not only lift up those that are less off than we are, and believe me, we're borderline, and a lot of people are. But I'm one hell of a step up from a lot of people I see out on the street, and that's what's killing this country. If we don't give a shit about them, what does it say about our country? What does it say about the society that we think we are? Because we're not that society as long as we have that problem. The problem of homelessness, of severe poverty, of not knowing if your kid's going to have a meal to eat because some congressman's got a feather up his ass because he calls it welfare and has no problem turning over subsidies to corporations and not calling that welfare.
There's no reason for, with all the wealth that this country has, there is no reason somebody should be hungry.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that's the biggest thing to look at in the grand scheme of things is we don't get upset that people are more wealthy than us.
No.
We get or we get upset that people more wealthy than us don't have to pay their fair share in taxes, which is supposed to keep the country moving. At least that's my understanding of it. I thought taxes take care of all these things.
Spot on.
Oh, well,
that's Travis.
That's socialist. That's socialism.
Oh, shit. I didn't know I was communist.
John. That's a problem.
Let me tell you something.
You guys
your military
is
a socialist organization. Your Navy, your Army, your Marine Corps, your Air Force, they are all, and Space Force. Let's don't forget Space Force. Are all paid for with your tax dollars, which is socialism. If you want to get down nasty tax and want to say, well, that's socialism. Yes, your fire department is socialism. Your hospital is socialism. The road you drive on is socialism. The sewer system, the water system, every freaking thing that you can think of that is paid with your tax dollars is called socialism. That's taking the money and trying to benefit the society as a whole. None of us have a problem with it. Republicans don't have a problem with it. They do it all the time. Until they want to use it as a weapon to scare poor ignorant people into thinking that
the rich are living the opposite of socialism.
We have corporate socialism in this country is what we have right now.
Yep.
We have a corporate welfare system that we give benefit to all the corporations and the rich people. And it started before Reagan, but Reagan came up with his trickle-down economics theory, and the Republicans have been using that mantra forever, and it's bullshit. It's the rich raiding the coffers is what it is. The rich have been getting richer.
You know how bullshit it is, John? You know how bullshit it is when people like Steve Bezos make $3 or $4 billion profits for the year and pay no tax.
Taxes.
That's what's bullshit.
No taxes.
Well, and keep this in mind too, because this is something I want to add on to what I said, is that with that in mind, it's because they don't pay their fair share in taxes. What also pours salt into the wound is that it's these people who can change policy, law.
They can change our country.
And they do that to affect the people at the bottom who can't have a say in it.
Johnny Fly.
That's right.
Well, I've said the rich have run the country for the rich.
Yes.
Yes.
When they were Amazon was talking about where we're going to put our new facilities. Remember when they were getting different cities to bid on who's going to give them the best
they
deal?
done in Australia.
Are you shitting me? You don't have to pay taxes here forever. Come over here and put it. But it's the residents of that town that are going to pay the taxes that support the infrastructure that supports Amazon.
Which, by the way,
you want to help the country? How about build your freaking Amazon plant in the middle of the country in Kansas? How about that?
Yeah.
Create them jobs in these flyover states, they call them, in the heartland of the country to build the anywhere you go build a city, incorporate, you're just growing. It's like growing blue dots.
Yeah.
Build a city, you grow blue dots.
And you want it
baby.
shittier than that? Don't pay taxes on your facility and where, New York? Okay, at the same time, people are buying in to Amazon every day. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. You know, it's like you buy from Amazon, you buy the Amazon Prime if you can afford it and all this other shit. You're already giving them money, and then you have to pay on their behalf their taxes and all that other shit.
Yeah,
there's
that's where
something
the plan
fucked
goes.
up about that,
That's
isn't it?
where the plan goes.
So
yeah, and what
Yeah,
is
now
when
you
it
bring
gets
that
carried
up.
to the disgusting degree
You
that
know
we
what, guys,
see.
too?
What?
There's one tax in this country that we should not have to pay. Property taxes. You know why? Because if you think about it, we continue to pay property taxes. That means that we still don't own our piece of property.
Well, yeah, I would argue that the tax that we should not have to pay is your income tax, because the income
Yes.
is your ability to earn a wage, whatever it is that you do to earn your money. They're taxing your labor. Okay. When the income tax was first initiated, I think it was in 1917. I'm not sure. Somebody could check the dates on that. But the income tax was highly debated against and did never pass. I think somebody would have to check that story out. I remember it from a long time ago. That really the income tax is illegal because it never passed Congress and was never ratified. But it got to be
In
practiced.
Australia, it's different.
Yeah.
Income tax started. It was with the New Deal. Hey, folks, we need to put money back into the coffers from this, World War II. We're going to run an income tax for like 3 years, and then it will stop.
There you go. It was not meant to be forever.
I remember my dad talking about it.
Yeah, but once you start letting
Well,
them pick
that's
money
like
out of your
healthcare
pocket,
from the
they're not going to
employer.
stop. They're
Well,
not.
that's like the healthcare from the employer. That come from World War II, and it was supposed to last
Yes.
a few years because they couldn't afford to increase wages, so they gave you some healthcare. But it's stayed ever since. But
They
there's a lot of things that
wrangled
came out
around
of the war
what
that were good for
healthcare
you.
means too, per policy. Let me get a couple things out of the way. John I. Fly donated $2 through Super Chat and said, "Vote blue and I will too." So saith John I. Fly. And Diana Mallory donated $2 to Super Chat and said, "Fucking King Ding Dong Donnie." I like that. Diana Mallory. Fucking King Ding Dong Donnie. I swear to this asshole. That's what it is. You feel like, yes, that's worth a few bells. What's that?
Just found out
In
today that I could
Australia, you earn 25 grand or less, you don't pay income tax. But you do have an income tax on your wage, but you get a tax return like anyone else at the end of the year, which is normally quite generous to the Australian people.
Well, that's
So
great. Yeah.
everyone gets a return.
Yeah.
But there's also a thing called payroll tax, where the employer,
Yeah,
the guy that
they hit
pays
you
you
with
the
that tier.
wages,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. And then
they sort of
FCIA.
cut that back quite low now to aid employment. But we sound very similar, but we have a threshold of 25. I think it's 25 grand. You pay no tax, so you can go out and earn. What was it, $200, $300? Is that 25 grand? How much is that a year? But you can you could live like a pauper, but you'd live, but you wouldn't be living on the street.
Yeah.
And you get subsidised housing rental. So, for example, if a home is $200 a week rent, besides your Social Security payment, you'll get maybe a 35% contribution added to your Social Security to help pay for the rent.
That's a hell of a deal. SC, you were going to say something, bud?
No, yeah, I'm saying that I was going to say I get to start early voting on the 7th, so I'm gonna go on the 7th.
I went and voted today, buddy.
Do my thing.
There you go.
So yeah, I just seen that today. I got I got my information, all that stuff, but I didn't like a week ago. But I didn't see anything in there where it talked about early voting stuff. So
it's been going on a little while. I've been driving back and forth between the firehouse down there for a week now, and I was just today. I'm going to go do it now.
Well, I know the actual vote is on the 17th here in Florida.
Oh, on the 17th.
But
you're not one of the Super Tuesday states then.
No, we're not.
Texas is.
We got early voting from the 7th to the 15th, and then I guess on the 16th you can't do shit. And then on the 7th, actual day. But so and like I said, I mean, my polling place is just like 2 blocks away from you, so
Yeah.
not out the
Outstanding.
way.
Yeah, same way with me. I pass mine every time I leave the house. You know.
And I'm gonna do the regular for the primary, but the actual election, I'm going paper.
Paper. Going with paper.
Yeah.
Well. All right.
Hey, John.
Yes, ma'am.
I remember when we were talking about delegate. Now, the difference of an unpledged delegate to the Democratic National Convention,
right?
They're seated automatically, and they choose for themselves who they're going to vote for.
Yes.
Now, the super delegates are supporting each candidate that are chosen in approximation ratio to their candidates' share of votes. So your unpledged can go and vote for whoever, and then your super delegates, then you get so many super delegates, and I believe it's 901 they have to have. If it's less, then it's then they have to vote again, and then it's who's the most popular. I heard that this morning, and I looked it up too. So
that sounds corrupt.
Yeah, I just
what do you do?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know everything about the superdelegate, how they use them and all that stuff, but just the idea, the Republicans don't have them. Well, no, it's not. It wouldn't be against the Constitution because the like the Republican Party,
and they never have
the Democratic Party is a private institution. Yeah. It's a club you have to join.
They rip off people.
Yeah. On either side. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party. The Constitution doesn't come.
The Constitution suggests you have to have this superdelegate crap.
Well, when you join a party, you agree to when you sign a thing saying I agree to the party platform and the party rules.
So it could be eliminated.
It's no different than being a member of the Moose Club or something like that.
Okay, so it can be eliminated.
Right.
And then each convention, they can change the rules of that. So So
we are sort of in that position right now.
Fixed, isn't it?
Part of the conversation is going because of the possibility that we go into a contested convention, and no candidate has the number 1991 delegates to win the nomination. We go in and Bernie is arguing that it should be the candidate with the plurality, the one with the most delegates gets the nod.
Of course.
Unfortunately, that's not in the rules.
He agreed to it last time.
He agreed to it last time. As a matter of fact, he was one, I think, that brought that up in the 2016 election, that it should be,
that way.
That worked out well for him.
Yeah, and now he's arguing the opposite point. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. But the rules are right now is that if it's, there's no winner until there's a clear winner in the convention. Nobody's pre-declared just because they have a plurality of the votes of the Democrats.
I don't know. It sounds like a parachute for the rich people to make.
Flower Fluid has just subscribed to our YouTube channel, and darling, we appreciate that very much. Thank you.
The thing is, this year it's more
complicated.
Balanced.
It's not fair and balanced.
It's going to be a more complicated situation than it's ever been because there's been so many candidates, and they're racking up delegates. And so, I mean, I don't know how long everybody's going to stay in. But it's a situation where, first off, they did change something about the superdelegates so that they have less power than they did last time.
Right.
But I don't know precisely what happened. And if you have a shared delegates going on between moderates,
right,
and they total up to be more than Bernie, then it's really complex in terms of trying to.
And it's putting the party on very delicate ground here. Because if we don't remain unified, then we might as well have a third party. There's going to be three parties. There's going to be the Republican Party, this side of the Democratic Party, and that side of the Democratic Party. And guess who wins in a three-way race? Donnie does.
Yeah.
You get a balance, and you get
you
get someone someone is like then in the House or in the Senate is like a sheriff that makes sure the calm stays, because everyone has to behave because they want that middleman to support their side.
If Biden gets it, let's say Biden wins the nomination, you Bernie people just got to suck it up and think, well, we can change the world next time. This time we'll vote for old Biden. I hate him and all that. He's old and he gets all this, whatever excuse you want to use. And vote him in and march this flag forward until the next time when we can bring your issues to the forefront. And by the way, while he's in there, you can work on him for that. Now, turning it around, if it's for Bernie and if Bernie wins, and all you Biden people are saying, oh, no, he's a I don't give a shit what you want to call him. Get your ass on board. Get your ass on board behind him, because that's our ticket. That's our man. Yeah. Whatever it is, whether it be Bernie, Biden, whether it be Elizabeth Warren, Buttigieg, any of them, whoever it is that comes out of this has got to be the leader of the party, and we march forward or we lose every freaking thing. I'd rather gain a little than lose everything.
This will be Bernie's last. This will be Bernie's last shot at. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Let's hope not. But
and there won't be another person. I don't think that'll come along for a while that's got the same ideas as Bernie.
You're not going to find anybody who has empowered their base. Bernie supporters are very passionate people. It's not only a policy thing. They love him, and Biden has the support of the moderate side of this party, the centrist side of this party, and they are solid. We have a clash here, but we can't let the divide between us cost us everything.
You're voting for health care for these guys. This is a vote for health care.
This is a vote for everything.
But
also keep in mind that if and the discussion is a lot here, I think, is that, well, if Biden gets this, it's no good. Okay, but if we got Biden, we keep the ACA. Right now, Donald Trump is involved in a federal lawsuit here in Texas to make the ACA unconstitutional, thereby wiping out the whole law, including your pre-existing conditions and all the other benefits that you got, out the window. That is what he's actually doing. While he's out there on the campaign trail talking about, we're going to keep your pre-existing commitment. No, you're not. You're in court right now trying to kill it. And I want to thank Lived It, who donated $10 through Super Chat and said, well, thank you, Bob. He says, salute, John. Everyone can do something, and some of us really want to put our hands on the wheel. They don't have to worry 3 branches. They should be scared of the 300+ million eyes. There you go, buddy. So say it, lived it. That's what it is. The eyes, everybody's watching. The eyes of the night, baby. You can't do shit without this country knowing it now. And that includes the possibility of the DNC doing something to put their thumb on the scale. There are too many eyes out here.
Hell, it's just not ours. It's other countries. They're watching us.
Everybody's watching us.
Some of them are thinking, oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
And, you know Putin's watching. He's probably sitting there
Putin is loving this shit.
Off.
Putin loved the debate. He just rolled on the floor every minute of that debate. That's what Putin was doing.
Really quick, I want to add something to this conversation, because the idea of, we're talking Bernie people and Biden people, and we need to be careful with how we word this stuff, because the bottom line is this. It's like earlier we just had a troll come in and Bernadette took care of it very quick. They just wrote Trump 2020. Obviously a troll. They're not even looking for a productive conversation. Oh. They just say something to get you upset. Yeah. Best thing to do is always ignore those things. Now, what I'm getting to with that logic is when you're talking about, you see quote-unquote Biden or Bernie supporters online talking stuff, and they're saying certain things like, oh, I'm not going to vote for anybody else except this candidate. Keep in mind, it could very well be a troll, just trying to get you angry and trying to get you upset.
Oh yeah.
No,
It's not.
there's a show. There's a show like yours. There's a show like yours that I watched last night, and the guy's he's got about 200,000 followers. He is a Democratic site, but what he said was something totally stupid. He said, as a compare, well, you know, if Bernie doesn't win, and if the others don't win, I'm not, and if it's going to be Bloomberg, I'm not going to vote. And I put in the comments straight away, well, then what a waste. You're just handing Trump the freaking election.
I'm not saying that.
I got so many thumbs up. No, I'm not having a go with you, Joe.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just saying, I
exactly
got
what
so
it
many
is.
thumbs up.
If anybody says, I'm not voting if so-and-so wins, if so-and-so's not the candidate, I'm not going to vote. Well, you know, why don't you just come out and say, well, screw the country. It's not about the country.
But
It's all about
getting,
you.
That's what I'm getting at, though, is that they do exist. But when
some of the trolls, yes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, when you say things like Biden people or Bernie people, got to be careful with that, because especially in the media, even I notice, even some of the shit we watch, sometimes they will lump an entire group of people into the same group of people. Just because someone's a Bernie fan doesn't mean that they're not going to be blue no matter who. So to everybody out there that sees that stuff, I'm not saying they don't exist, because we do. We've seen it within our own family, and it's really disheartening to see. But just because you're reading it online, if they don't really give you real context as to why they're feeling that way or whatever, they're just trying to get you upset. And that's something we're really trying to push forward here lately, is don't let trolls get to you, because the moment you let them get to you, they win and you get upset for no reason, and they enjoy that. You want to get them upset, just ignore them and go out there and search for the truth yourself. So yeah, exactly.
Luckily I don't get nothing like that, because I haven't said who. I still haven't made my decision yet, you know, and I ain't got nothing personal against any of them. And God, I know we need somebody, not Trump. Yeah. So I will make my choice here in a few days. And whoever it becomes, that's who it becomes.
I made my choice today.
I just don't pay no
And Gary Spring, we're glad you made it here, buddy. We was waiting on you this whole time. Somebody said at the beginning of the show, said, "Where's Gary?" I said, "Well, I don't know." So I'm glad you checked in, Gary Spring, up in Canada. We appreciate you coming by.
But see, like SC, that's exactly what, you know, that's the point of all of this. This is where we're supposed to be able to have productive conversation about who we think would be best pick for president. And this is the point of time where we should all have an opinion, you know, and that's totally fine. You know, the moment you start attacking people, that's when it goes south.
That's
you know, or attack someone for their opinion, as long as they're not hurting anybody. You shouldn't attack
everybody.
Them. So
I went and voted today for the person I wanted, but have no doubt at all. I went and voted today, but if that vote doesn't make it, my vote changes to who does make it. That's the important part. You got to suck it up, baby. I mean, feelings. You know, you get passionate about it, and all of us are. Yeah. All of us are, because if you're passionate, I mean, if you're concerned about this country, you should be passionate. If you're worried about this country, you should be passionate. You should be pissed off, but use that anger. Be motivated to keep, you know, yourself and others involved in this fight.
I'm gonna make my vote in the primary, and I'll probably. I mean, I know you said you voted today, John, and you didn't say who you voted. I'm probably not gonna say who I voted.
No, it's nobody's business unless you make it.
I do know who I'm voting for November 3rd. Yeah. I mean, I don't right now, but I know it's going to be blue. You know, so it's like I said, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to talk shit about nobody, because I don't even want you to know who I will be voting.
No.
Steve, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know. I mean, I
look at people.
Numerous of them. I mean, there's one I don't, and I'm sure everybody knows, because he's just a wannabe Democrat. He's in sheep's clothing, but you know, if somebody likes them, you know, hey, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah, no, you got even if you support Bloomberg, maybe that's who you were talking about. I'm just going to guess, or maybe I'm using my own. If you're going to talk about Bloomberg, and you know, if it's him, baby, I'm all on it. I am all on it.
Yeah,
I would rather have Bloomberg than Trump any day of the week.
I may hold my nose when I do it, but if he's the nomination, well, okay.
And that has to be the key. Whether or not your person wins isn't how this country moved forward. It's when we come together is when we move forward. All the socialist crap that we talk about, the roads, the highways, the everything that we have in this country has been forged forward generation by generation by fights that are going to last forever. But we have to keep fighting it. And if you just make it about you and your personal issues and how you think the world should be, the only other thing I can tell you is, well, then get out there and run yourself. Put yourself out there. It changed the world. You know, if you're that passionate about, you know, just. But when you're on a team, and have no doubt, that's what this is. It's got to be a team effort.
There's no I in team.
No, there's no I. Well, somebody said the other day, no, but there's a me. Okay.
Trump and this whole administration already pisses me off enough. I don't need to sit here and waste my time with anybody.
Yeah, no. This is not as much as about who is going to be the president. It is what our country is going to look like. We are going to have an option. We can keep doing what we have right now with Donnie the dictator, and I guarantee you're going to see an erosion of this country like you ain't never seen, because he's going to do just what he's always done with everything else, bankrupt it and walk out the door laughing. Yeah. That's what Donnie does. And we have seen the hatred. You know, if we could look at any issue, look at that, the racism in this country that has come out of the freaking woodwork since this man came into office, the greed that has fired up, you know, our own dignity as a nation, pulling out and leaving allies on the battlefield. You know, we would disgrace this country with this man. It's got to stop. If you're an American, if you love this country, and you know, I challenge the patriotism of supporting that man. How can you call yourself a patriotic American? How can you sit there and tell me that you agree with the what this country is to stand for and what this country has fought for over the generations? That we are a united people, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. That's what we are as a country. And if we can't move this country forward, then the great experiment will be gone. It will be a failed experiment. This is the strongest democracy. No other country has a democracy as strong as ours in the way that we do this. But our democracy depends on the voice of the people. That's what the whole idea is, that we are governed by those who are governed. I mean, you know, we elect the people ourselves. We select our leaders. You know, we get the government we elect. We get the direction we get. And this time
we kind of gave it away.
Yes.
With Citizens United.
Well,
I mean,
Trump's taking you from number one in the world. He's taking you guys from number one in the world to about number 5 in about a space of 3 years. Another 4 years, you become number 20 in the world.
As was just mentioned about Citizens United, which came in way before Trump did. This is a long-term goal of that. You know, it's like Mitch McConnell's the long game. That's what they're playing. They want the money, baby. That's what they want. They want to control everything.
The entire Democratic Party is against Citizens United.
Yes. Yep. Because that's what gives us all this.
And people need to realize that we actually, as a party, want to get rid of all that big money.
Yes, get corporate money out of politics. Corporations are not people. I don't see Amazon going down to cast a vote. There's no big building walking up saying, I'm Amazon, I'm here to vote. No. There's people that work in corporations and they have a vote.
More Trump, more years of Trump, and what you'll have is Amazon saying to their employees, if you want to keep your job, you'll vote Trump.
If 4 more years of Trump would change this country generational, because they will have complete control of the Supreme Court and all the lower appellate courts. They will have complete control, and fascism will be kicked in the ass end, and corporations will rule the freaking world, and your job will be shut up, go to work, and we'll throw you a bone or two. We'll give you a holiday. That's what we'll do. We'll give you a day off.
Because aren't they appointed for life?
Supreme Court?
The judges? Supreme
yes,
Court.
yes.
But what about
Yeah.
the other one?
Yes. A lot of federal appeals, federal judges are lifetime appointments. Yes. Yes. This is so serious, and Mitch McConnell was doing this long before Trump came along. Mitch McConnell has had this plan for yes. Read his book, The Long Game. That's what he is. He's all about the courts. He doesn't give a shit about the election bills, the election security bills that are on his desk, the gun bills that are in the desk, all these bills that have been bipartisanly passed through the House since we've taken the House are still sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. He doesn't give a shit about the what we are trying to do in this country to progress it. He's got his eye on the power. He wants to remain control of the Senate so he can control the judges. And it's a long-time game. Yes, my son has given me the sign. I got to go. Yes. Go ahead.
I should go too.
Isn't history repeating itself here? Isn't this what the Roman Empire did now that what the Republican Party's doing to us?
Well, the old adage, all great civilizations fail. That's what we're trying
I think
desperately.
Caesar died in the end.
But history
Caesar died in the
repeats
end. Trump will
itself.
die.
That's true.
I had a strange event with a Trump supporter. It wasn't an event. I was just watching this stuff on YouTube, and I watch. As I said, I get their side and find the bullshit. But there was one guy on the Democratic side. He put in there the typical Trump 2020, but his name or his title was Smart Trump Supporter. So I wrote him, and I was one of the first one to write the comment in. A comment was that your title is an oxymoron. And I've got, mate, that was only 3 days ago, and I got something like 800 thumbs up already.
Oh, looky here.
So, what that tells me, though, all that little stuff tells me is that there's an undercurrent in all this blue wave. It's deeper than you think, and I think you're going to find Trump's going to be really, really in a bad way in December. And he's starting all these rumors with the Russians helping Bernie and something else about something else. And so he's got something to attack or blame for his loss. There you go.
Yeah.
The virus, that's right. The virus is going to make him lose.
Yeah, there's
maybe
a story
if he catches it, he will lose.
I got some new work from from Thomas Morgan. Dogs this time. It's not always political. Got some outstanding pictures of some dogs. I'll share them online. Thomas Morgan out in Cardiff by the sea. I swear, it's a toss-up. I want to live out in there or up where Bernadette lives.
Anywhere on the West Coast,
oh, man.
honestly.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
out
that'd
there,
be
I'm
nice.
telling you. Anyway.
When you first...
John.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say for sure, I really thank you for tonight, especially what you were just saying about everybody coming together and because I started out saying how I was unhappy with all the division, and so all encouragement has been really, really nice, and I'll sleep better.
Well, I appreciate that. I always tell people I'm nothing but a cheerleader. That's what my job is. If I had little pom poms and
we gotta stick together.
If I could swing my arms, I'd bring them. It is.
Where would
thank
we
you
be
very
if
much
it wasn't for you, John?
Somebody else. It ain't that big
no,
a deal.
No,
if I left here if I left
here.
now, y'all have got the momentum already. You don't need me. Hell, y'all are in here every day on this thing. So, on that note, if you're not involved, maybe you ought to think about downloading Discord. It's an app similar to Skype. You can look for the Blue Dot Family or follow the link under the video in YouTube or wherever you find it. There's a link to the Blue Dot Family Discord group, and they are in there all the time. And the conversation is lively all the time. So think about that, and then you can come join us on the show. And I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Aussie Dave, thank you again. You are always welcome here, buddy. We appreciate the international perspective from Australia looking down, but we appreciate it.
Yay, Aussie!
And Ben, always glad to have you here, bub. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I always appreciate you too.
There you go. And Daffy, Daffy.
Yes.
We appreciate you, darling. Thank you for your voice tonight. We're glad you
I love
us.
y'all.
Wow.
I look forward to the group. Let me tell you, because I don't get out much.
Well.
So you guys keep me going.
Well, we appreciate that. That's why we're here, baby. This is family. That's what we're trying to go.
Yeah.
And Eva, all the way from Germany, baby, we appreciate it so much. We know it's early in the morning over there, so we know you give up a little bit to stay up and visit with us. And we appreciate it.
It's early in the morning here, too, you know.
It is. Oh, yeah, but we don't give a shit about you, Dave.
No, sorry, it's afternoon.
Eva's a lady. Evie's a lady. You're just a mate, bud.
Yeah, poor Eva.
Eva, we really do.
You know, it's 2:20, so you know.
We'll get some rest then, dear.
Yeah, it's 11:52 a.m. here.
Ah, see, Dave's about noon. Eva's about 2 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, that's the big difference.
Yeah.
And you guys are what, 7 o'clock in the evening? No. Are you 7 o'clock in the evening about now?
Almost 7:30.
Yeah. Yeah, a little after about.
Okay.
Yeah. Except for SC, he
Well,
lives out there.
that's a new segment. There's a new segment for the show. International time telling.
That's right, baby. That's right. Fun with flags next. I'm telling you, that's where we're going. Fun with flags. But Eva, take care of yourself. And SC, buddy, take care of everything down in Florida for us. Keep them on the move, buddy.
We will try. I was mentioning it earlier. We're up to Andrew Gillen's been doing his thing with these people registered to vote, and we're probably around 5 million.
I asked today, and they said that they did indeed say that the early voting the numbers were up as compared to previous times. So yeah, I am hopeful that we're going to have a surge in voters, and that's going to help carry this blue wave. That's what I'm counting on, baby. How about you, Velda?
I'm hoping for it too.
All right, baby. We always appreciate it. Velda is one of our moderators. That's right.
John, we're riding the wave.
I've got to say it for Bernadette.
What's that? What are you gonna? What did you say?
I said fuck Trump.
Did you say fuck Trump? She said fuck Trump. Can you believe she said fuck Trump right here?
Trump.
Oh, look, now you done made him say fuck Trump. It's like it's a thing almost. So for Bernadette, oh look at there's my sweetie. Oh, I swear, she misses him. She misses Molly. Yep, that's my puppy just came, stuck her nose in her dad.
She said fuck Trump too.
Yes, I think that's exactly what she said. Fuck Trump. So Velda, thank you for giving us that message from Bernadette. I'm sure it was well deserved. Anyway, I love this whole family. Y'all remember that this is a growing family. We're an inclusive family. We're all on one team here, baby. We might have our favorite players, but we're all on the same team, baby, and we're driving the ball down to our goal line, and we need to score big time. So stay in it, baby. Everybody on the line, nobody in the bunker. That's the way I like to look at it, but everybody on the line. Anyway, all of y'all, thank you very much. Y'all say goodnight to the family.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
There you go,
Night,
baby.
John Boy.
Good night, Mary Ellen. That's the way it is here, baby. Y'all come back and see us. Stay informed, stay involved. And y'all just take care of yourself. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
All right.